We noticed you kind of limping in here. How are you feeling right now?
My foot hurts a lot. He checked one of my kicks on the inside, and I thought, I'm not going to kick anymore, and then I kicked him again. So it's just my foot's all swollen up, and my right hand's pretty swollen. So
How did your knee feel? It held up with everything?
Man, I had a really good surgeon, great rehab, UFC. They covered me good after my last fight, and this is what happens when you do everything you need to properly, and my knee felt great.
What was the strategy that you seemed to be really going after his lead leg with kicks there at the start?
He's really. I thought he was really heavy on his lead leg, and I watched the DeMarcus fight a couple times, not the armbar part because I wanted to stay out of that part. But he's really heavy on that lead leg, so I was trying to attack it. We have this little thing, is just make him weary. Just touch his leg with like a little bit of a judo kick thing that we do at the lab, and make him weary. And I was supposed to throw some combos after that, and didn't really get that going after he popped me a couple times.
How much of a difference did your training at the MMA lab make heading into this?
Doing the full 7 weeks really made a big difference. A big part of it was getting my weight down properly, and there's at 155 that gym's all killers. You look at that training room, some guys you don't even know their name, and they'll whoop up on you. So it's a great training facility for little guys. There's obviously really good big guys, and I had awesome training partners. Joe Riggs, he's able to mimic John. Benson. There's so many good guys there. You gotta stay on your toes, and it just makes you better.
You very emotional in the cage after. Was it just getting that UFC win that you wanted all along, or was it everything in these last two matches that you've gone through, coming back? What was?
It's not just that one. It's not just the last couple months. It's since I started fighting, since I started training in 2006. This is all I wanted. I sacrificed a lot. To be here, to be in this winner's circle, and it all came out at once. That last one was so close with Anton, and then I think the big thing was redemption. My personal life fell apart after that last fight, and all I could think about was, should I still be doing this? Do I belong here? And you question yourself, and I did everything I needed to. I sacrificed even more, and I jumped 2 feet in, and this is what happens. You get that win.
What were you thinking as the scores were being read?
I thought I did enough to steal it in the third when I slipped him off my back, and I just kind of went a little bit crazy, got all Donkey Kong. I knew I had to pour that on. I had to put an exclamation point because he had controlled enough time. I could hear his corner counting down the time. I knew he had spent too much time on my back for it to be kind of close. So I knew I had to kind of put that exclamation point, and that's why I stood up, I'd go crazy. And I think that's what handed some soft tissue damage in my right hand, but I don't care. They could be mashed and there'd be no bones left. Get that win, it was so worth it.
You mentioned how the losses made you question whether you should be here, whether you should be doing this. I mean, what was it like coming into this fight, thinking about that stuff and thinking about what your future with the UFC would be if you didn't get the win?
I was already on borrowed time. They could have cut me after that last fight. That's 0-2. 0-2. We tried you out. Come back, get better, get some wins, come back later. They saw something in me, and they saw something in John, obviously. Both of us are scrappy guys. And, I was already on borrowed time, and I wasn't going out without a fight. I wasn't going to just lay down and die. And that's why I was trying to that last 30 seconds or whatever to get out of that body triangle and go crazy. And I went crazy, and I think that's what won me that fight.
You said afterwards that's all I wanted was is that a UFC win or what?
That's everyone. It's hard to say, just because everyone wants to make it to the UFC, and then that's all I wanted. Well, being a loser in the UFC is the same as being a loser, and you're still a loser. Plain and simple, you're a loser. I don't want to be a loser. I just wanted a little taste of that glory. I wanted to win.
Was it as good, better than you envisioned?
There's nothing like it. You know, there's no drug, there's nothing. When Bruce Buffer says your name, you know, at the beginning, I thought that was good. When he says your name after, it's so good. It's better than that first drink of Pedialyte after weigh-ins.
Do you have some family here? I'll just ask you another.
Yeah, I got a lot of family. My dad and stepmom, my brother, my sister. I had a whole bunch of people come out, and you know, I'm so happy that they did. You know, like this, there was like back in the States, like, oh, it's just right there. You know, no, like that's a solid drive from Saskatoon to Winnipeg. You know, I have people from Edmonton that drove. My one cornerman drove from Edmonton to Winnipeg to be here this week. See, and you know, I'm so grateful. You know, and I think it, you know, when you're a part of a team, you're such a tight knit community. It's like family. So yeah, my family's here, but my family's here, and that just made it so much better.
You always been an emotional guy. Obviously, got pretty emotional in there afterward.
I can be emotional, you know, like I try to put that false front of them. I'm angry, I got a sweet beard, I'm angry, you can't faze me, but, you know, I take everything to heart. You know, I like to say I'm a nice guy, I'm just mediocre, but, you know, like, I'm emotional. I put everything I can into this sport. I put everything I could into getting this win, and to be able to get it is nothing like it.
You mentioned earlier this week that just getting to 155 is a bit of a struggle for you. Was this weight cut different than any others, or just a routine cut to 155 for you?
You know, like after my knee surgery and stuff, I couldn't wrestle, so boxing and lifting weights, you get a little bit bigger. You know, I'm a decent sized 155er. You know, I was 178, you know, just before we left for here, and that's a decent size, you know. So just my frame and everything, I'm big, and I shouldn't be lifting weights the way I was. But I have a great nutritionist in Travis at the lab. You know, I have a great team to work with down there, and they made me get to where I need to be to get here. It's not easy to get to 55, but it's definitely doable. I can do it again if I have to.